Good, wonderful. Okay, we have I think it was interesting to me. I never like when I'm learning and looking at it ahead of time if I really like something, because it seems to me that it doesn't play so well when I repeat it. But at any rate, we're over on page Resh Samach Vav in the Drush Lilo, Drush Vav. That's an interesting piece here. So it's in the Babur Besod Kiste de Chiyusu. So Babir, let's see, I'm in the wrong place. Let me go down here. Lamed Ches. Lamed Ches, here it is. So Babir Midas Kiste de Chiyusu Ganiska Bazar Bekama Bekomas Rotzon or Belomer Midas Achaim. So what does it Midas Achaim mean? So he said, "V'kevich in his boyer kan inin hatarnei merabeshach v'zer anpen she'al yedei zera v'chal zera v'dora b'pana b'pana." The nook comes back to be pana b'pana b'dem. V'voru kan hara b'pratos eza chala chelik hius nishe'eres b'zer anpen b'eis hadormeta. So we've seen this before. Shehu hanikra kista dehius v'nizger b'zoher b'kama b'komos. Pirush Chababidis Kius Mu'atis. It is a minimal amount of life force. He says the word kista Pirushu Mida. It's a measurement or some, I think it means an amount. Kista the Kisa Hainu Midas Achaim. And now Midas Achaim, the way he's using it is to, okay, let's just see how he uses it. Shehi Hius B'Mida Hapachusa. This is a Hius, the very smallest amount of amount, that it is the bottom amount that it has to for him to be able to remain alive. Now, number lama test Pirush. So now it's not just that he said that; it's the minimum amount. But he wants to talk about the detail of it. That's exactly what it is. So it's going to be the same size now. Shelo hoyu be'es atzilus ratziluso rak vok bilvad keniska the ale. It's only 5 kitzvahs. Habir bezecha behusha atacha be'esidor mita chahoses er abden the kamosha koya bekatnuso kodem shenimshko lo hamochen the godless before the mochen the godless started pouring into him. Sha'az koya besod vok bilvad below mochi. The atacha be'esidor mita. So now we've come to this time of the darmita. Mistalki be'menachem bemochen the godless. So then the group mocha the god that leave him shenimshku chalo shehem bebechinas agar shalo, which is his gar. That's what leaves. So what is left over is his vok. So he has still that akiyus. The kodem god luso gam came kol yulo bechinas mochim v'hem mochim the iver v'yanika v'henish arim lo ato, and now that's what he has left. Let's go for the hachzir. Let's look at number kaf bet. There's a kaf bet in the TIV Hakavanot, on the Shaar Hakavanot rather. Let me come down a little bit further and see how I can make this work out. Number kaf bet. He said that he yos could be Rishon, it could be daso. Merihitis adivich harav sham mashma. The hachius on the she'eris l'zer anpin be'esa darmita. So the question is what remains for zer anpin that we're talking about here? This kis the chiyusa. He rak osa chius shehoisa dachab kodem gadlusa. This is the life force that was in zer anpin before he became he had his gar. Became Kosev HaBeis Lechem Yehuda, he saw Shoshinish Ardacha Bedacha Ke'ez HaMochen Dekata Shalo. So now remaining for him are his Mochen Dekanas. Veina Mochen de Bechinas or Benimi. So he says like this, he says it's the Tzadat Tzalim. So in case you were thinking that there's no Tzadat Tzalim only comes when there's godless, he wants to say the Tzadat Tzalim and the Yanika, the Ima. Did he say also Yanika and Eber? No, he didn't. Shalechem bevura be'etz chaim. He says in Shaar Kav Vav, Perek Dalet. What does he say? Shemochim elo hein hachiyus amuchrach. Yeah, shall zer anpin. This is the basic, what is necessary for zer anpin, what he has to have to stay alive. And they never leave him. In other words, the fact that is born out, so therefore he's in a stage of unique at a minimum. So now you can understand why this period is like going like heading this direction. There's nothing to give to the nook. So all of the mochin of godless of the ach, which we're going to go to build up the acharayim of the nukva, they're not coming anymore. So he says, so therefore, besides this, nishar bo b'shas dormita, gam chius mu'etis, that's what he calls it now, the kista the chiyasa. He said, mu'etis, k'mecha mochin the godless the ach, there is a certain amount of that. That came into the time previously at the time of his godless. Etc. He said, when over there, there is a certain amount of ha'ara that comes from zer anpin the nook. So there's more over there. What it says, I'm not sure. So let's go on to where we are now. I think we're on number mem. He said, yeah. It says, so now that zer anpin has come down to be zer anpin, and you could see that he's contrasting this kista, the chiyasa, which is now he's saying is related to the vak. He says contrasting that to godless. She has no strength to be able to be mashpia to the nook. Did I read this already? I don't know. I'll read again. So be'esa dormita k'shechozes zer anpin the kadnusa the bechinas vak. Where she's been standing behind him, and when there's no mochin coming in from the I guess the backside mochin coming into zer anpin for the purpose of building her up, he's not getting it. So if he doesn't get it, she doesn't get it. So what is it? So now that at this time, Kevin Sheka'ez Misulokim Mochem Bemenu Shuv Ein Lo Ma Lohoyer Ba. V'nukva Ein Ba Bechinas Mochin. Now she herself has no mochin. What? V'shum Aver Min Gufa. In any place. Let's see. Rak Chelik Asiri Me'asarach Aloka Sheyesh Lo Begdulasu Kanizka the Ale. So all that she is this dot that he usually uses that word. But let's say he says, but now she is at 1/10 of what she could possibly be. So we know that the 1/10, and then normally the number 10 goes with Malchus. So when we talk about Malchus, is it the Malchus of the Malchus? I'm not sure how he adds this up. Kevin Shazach of Einen Meir Benuk, Lefi Shehu Bekadnus. The Melech Hoseris Ge'ez Gam Hanuk Lekatnusa, so she goes back to that too. Lukamosha Hoysa Kodem Shenigadol Agide Zeranpin before she grew through Zeranpin. The Hainu Shahozera the Bechina Nakuda that she the Hainu Shahozera the Bechina Nakuda Achas Kasha Hoysa Betachila, that's what she was. Back to the dot idea. Kevin should call Hagdalosel the parts of Shalom Naazib Bekor Chashef Shenoisa Nachzer Anpen Behistal Kusaba. Mamela Ata Shein Mashpia Alecha Shabo El Mamada Matseva Harishon, that she's now everything is back to where that it originally was. So when you're in a situation like this, where she has only the vok, where vahine kashe'ain bo in the zer anpin rather is just the vok, ein bacha bebechinas chiyus. He doesn't have that aspect of chiyus. Rak osa chelak ha'asiri min ha'chiyus shehoyolo. So the translator, he's only an aspect of this chiyus. So he went over back to the chiyus again. Only 1/10 of the chiyus shehoyolo that he originally have shehum begil the nukva. That is what can come to the nukva. Now this is a little. This seems to me like it needs more hezbollah, but so he explains. Haki sheyesh l'zer anpin ato be'esh shechol the bechinas vok. Who rak chelach hasiri. It's he says this is only 1/10. Let me find it back here. From the flies forth that he had before the kashahoya begadlus when he was in a place of godness. So it's only 1/10 of that. Now he's giving more definition to this kista the chiyusu. It actually comes out. Its illumination is 1/10 of what it would be in the case of godless. V'hu mama kashir ha'chiyus, that is the mochim shechoyot noisen the cook be'es godlusa. It turns out that that's the same amount. The number 10 spot, that is the 10th, is the ha'ara that he's able to give to the nukva. Now, I'm just thinking, when you're thinking about this, there was always this question about what exactly is Malchus getting, or what is Malchus getting. We always said that it is the kasser of Malchus that we're dealing with. And over here, he's saying that you're dealing with a 10th of the light that was inside of Zer Anpin at the time of his godless. The Bisha Shohoya Bezer Anpin Amochan the godless. V'hoyer lenok chelak me'amochim be'es amidaser ach ba'ach, and now they're ach ba'ach, and as they're standing in that position, he's shining be'es amidaser ach ba'ach when they're like that. Az shiur hamochim shenasa lenok heim chelak asiri me'amochim sheyesh bo. It gives the 10th part. Now that means the bottom part, I think. It's the bottom part. The question is, I guess, the answer to the way I'm thinking about that, if I'm not making it clear, is that the bottom part of Zer Anpin is actually the top part of the Nukva. That's a possibility. So in other words, it's her Kesser, but it's his Malchus that's shining on her. Something that's what it sounds like to me. The Zer Anpin, so that the Nuk actually is considered to be his Malchus, of course, which is that 10th part of it. Now, right now, she's in a position of being just a dot. So Zer Anpin is only a vok. So, but he has a certain amount of mochim still in him. But this is only the same amount. What he has now is what before, when he was in godless, he was able to give his malchus, let's say his 10th, the 10th. Let's say that he's like a tube, and at the bottom of the tube, and the tube is full of mochim, and at the bottom of the mochim, they're going to be more dim. So that's the part that he's able to give to her in his state of godless. Now, there's obviously a lot more to that. So, so that's only 1/10 of what he originally had.
You got to run. Say,
oh, you got to run? Okay, that's it.